1514, the plain of Chaldiran. Two great armies stand face to face. On one side, the Ottoman Empire, one of the most powerful armies in the world. On the other side, the Safavids, a newly founded state. But this war was not only about land. It was a war of faith, and the outcome of this battle would shape the future of the Middle East. So how did the Safavids reach this moment? How did a small religious order turn into an empire? This story did not begin with a battle. It began with a dervish. In the 14th century, there was a small city in northwestern Iran, Ardabil. There lived a Sufi sheikh who taught people a different spiritual path. His name was Safi al-Din. Those who gathered around him were more than just a religious community. They showed absolute loyalty to their leader. Over time, this loyalty turned into a powerful order. And that order would eventually give birth to a state. After the death of Timur, there was no strong central power left in Iran. Every city was controlled by a different ruler. This chaos created the perfect conditions for the rise of a new power, and that power would emerge from an unexpected place. At the end of the 15th century, a young boy became the leader of the order. His name was Ismail. When Ismail was still a child, his father was killed by the Aq Koyunlu. He and his family were forced to live in hiding for years. But despite everything, Ismail eventually became the leader of the order. His followers did not see him as an ordinary man. To them, Ismail was chosen by God. This belief created a deep and almost fanatical loyalty within the Safavid army. As he grew older, Ismail became more than just a leader. He became a commander, a ruler, and soon, a legend. In 1501, Ismail marched into Tabriz with his army. With this victory, the Aq Koyunlu state came to an end. Ismail declared himself Shah. When Ismail entered Tabriz, he had not just captured a city. He had begun a new era in Iran. The Safavid state had officially been born. But a decision Ismail would make would not only change Iran, it would transform the entire Middle East. Shah Ismail declared Shiism as the official religion of the state. This was a dramatic change in a region where the majority had been Sunni for centuries. But this was not only a religious decision. It was also a political challenge. Within a short time, Ismail expanded his rule into Iraq, Azerbaijan, and Khorasan. As the state grew, religious tensions also began to rise. Several uprisings broke out, but Ismail won most of the battles he fought and continued strengthening his rule. Meanwhile, Safavid influence was spreading into Anatolia. For the most powerful state in the region, the Sunni Ottoman Empire, this became a serious threat. And a confrontation between the two empires was becoming inevitable. The two states could not coexist in the same world. Within the Ottoman Empire, a struggle for the throne was unfolding among the princes. Shah Ismail used this opportunity to spread his influence in Anatolia. Some groups began to support the Safavids. These developments caused serious concern in the Ottoman court. Both states saw themselves as the true leaders of the Islamic world. The new Ottoman ruler was Selim I. Selim refused to ignore this threat. The two rulers sent each other harsh letters. For Selim, the Safavids had to be stopped, and there was only one way to do that: war. 1514, the Plain of Chaldiran. Two armies faced each other. The Safavids were brave, but the Ottomans were prepared. Cannons, muskets, and disciplined formations. Safavid cavalry charged forward. But when the Ottoman cannons fired, the balance of the battle changed. The Safavid army was not prepared for these weapons. In the end, the outcome of the battle was decided not by courage, but by technology. The result was clear. For the first time, Shah Ismail was defeated. After Chaldiran, the Safavid state did not collapse. After the death of Shah Ismail, his son Tahmasp took the throne. Wars between the Ottomans and the Safavids continued for many years. But the borders between them remained largely unchanged. That frontier would later become the foundation of the modern border between Turkey and Iran. Although the Safavid dynasty ended in 1736, its legacy remained. Shi'ism became firmly rooted in Iran. The Ottomans became the leaders of the Sunni world. And this division would shape the region for centuries. Even today, many tensions in the Middle East can be traced back to this era. A story that began with a small religious order, ended with an empire. But the legacy of the Safavids would permanently shape the history of Iran. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.